Oh my God, your poor dad.
Welcome back to Your Poor Dad, a podcast about farting and the guys that I can't keep.
Okay, we'll explain more about that later, but we are Your Poor Dad. We are a podcast by three sisters, and you're the fourth sister, so welcome.
Welcome.
We had quite the interesting week this week.
We really did. And, you know, last week we talked about how it was our first... We had a clip go viral on TikTok, so we had a lot of people starting to hear about us. That was really exciting. Mm-hmm. And then this week happened, and it's just like, the fuck?
Yeah, it's how quickly they fall from grace. I mean, we didn't fall from grace, but
we're still graceful as fuck.
We are graceful as fuck. So we had our first real maniacal hater, and you know. I monitor all the social stuff, and I have very thick skin with the trolls. So literally there's not a lot you can say about us that I'm I filter it for the crew.
But you do a good job of filtering the trolls.
Yeah. So we had this fan account DM us. It DM'd me, it DM'd Paige, and then it DM'd Your Poor Dad's Instagram with me and Paige in a group with this fan account. And then they started commenting on some of our posts. And it was personal stuff about our family. And I was like, okay, just delete the public comment and then I'll figure out how to deal with this. And the person just didn't stop. So we could tell from what the person was saying that it was somebody that knew our family very, very well. Yes, it was used to, but they were in our close circle at one point. So I'm like, is this somebody in our own family? Or I had a couple other inklings of who it could be. So I start digging, and I'm assembling my team because I have a lot of girlfriends and we're all crazy. So we get
truly a crazy girl, and I've been there before. You know what I mean? It's a crazy girl can find out more information quicker than an FBI agent.
Exactly. So that's why I assembled the team. I'm like, okay, who's been hurt? Her. Let's get to work. So we start doing digging. And while I'm doing some digging, our dear sister Paige is engaging with the troll to kind of just see what we're working with.
I mean, the conversation was very how did you hear about the podcast? They started saying things like, oh, I know the family. Oh, what's your name? If you know the family, I would love to know who this is, kind of thing.
And then it got a little ugly.
And then it got real ugly.
Yeah. And this person was trying to be, I don't know, a really low budget gossip girl.
Which was so strange. I was being a fucking delight, first of all. I was not saying anything rude. This person was coming at me trying to piss me off, and they were like, it's so funny that you're the one responding because everyone knows you're the obnoxious bull of the family, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, accurate, and I'm still responding.
And tell us something we don't know.
And at a certain point I was just like, you know what, thank you so much for listening and supporting the podcast.
Yeah. And by this time I was like, okay, it has to be this person. I think I was the one who thought it was that person from the start.
Yeah, I was between two. But then let me just finish this, because then this person responded and said, oh, sweet girl, I don't listen to that trash. I have better things to do. Sidebar, yet you don't have better things to do than to create this fake account. Anyways, they're like, I have better things to do than to listen to that trash. You're a disgusting pig. You need to learn some etiquette and manners, and I know that by knowing you. Your podcast is all about farting and the guys you can't keep. Which is, excuse me, I've only talked about farting one time.
And it wasn't even, oh yeah, it was.
I was in fourth grade when I accidentally had a little toot in class, and I blamed it on the guy next to me.
Yeah,
okay?
And you blamed it on Stinky James.
We didn't say his name.
Yes, we did. We said Stinky James.
Did we?
Duty? I don't know. Duty? Okay.
Anyways, it was just like, okay, relax.
So we're going to tell you exactly how we found out who this person was. So this was an easy case of FBI work because the person kind of showed a lot of cards at the beginning, and there's only a few people we knew it could be. Mm-hmm. And it's usually somebody that's like pretty close to you that's going to do this shit. So I went to the fan account's Instagram and said I forgot my password and I'd like to recover it. And so what they'll do is they'll send you like, do you want to send it to your email or your phone number? And it's like,
it shows you the beginning and end of the email.
Yeah. First letter, star, last letter at, and then it gives you the URL.
Domain, yeah,
the domain. And then it gives you all of star, and then the last 2 digits of their phone number. So I screenshot that, and then I went to the person who I thought it was Instagram account and did the same thing. And what are the odds that this person, who is one of the only people who could like know this much stuff about us, which by the way, let me emphasize this. The stuff that she was saying was not like bad character assassination stuff. Like honestly, I would tell you guys, but it doesn't involve just us, and the people that it has also involved, they're just like, I don't want to talk about this on the internet, which is understandable.
We've agreed, us 3 have agreed to do this podcast, and so like if it was just involving us 3, like that would be one thing, but if it involves like outside people, like we have to respect that as well.
And it's the fucking internet. I told Dad we told Dad we wouldn't cuss as much, but like honestly,
he said he gets it. It's
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he cusses all the time, but yeah, it is the fucking internet, so we are mindful about what we put out there, believe it or not. So the phone number and the email matched perfectly to this person. Like literally the same amount of asterisks, everything was the exact same. So I'm fucking fuming because if you remember, what episode did we talk about?
I think it was either the last episode or the one before.
I think it was the one before that.
I think it was the one before.
When I talked about how one of my exes was talking about a pros and cons list about one of my friends, that's this bitch, okay? And it's hard because like I was like, I want to expose this girl because I've always taken the high road with her, because I did find a bunch of texts that were like truly
inappropriate.
It was completely going against, like, I wasn't even mad at my ex, I was mad at her because she is supposed to be somebody, like I was getting rid of him, like you're supposed to be my friend.
Like double teaming, like, or double agent, whatever.
Yeah, she was sending me a text and then sending him a text like literally minutes later, and he was like screenshotting me like, what is going on?
And like very opposite like conversations. Not like she wasn't sending texts to him on your behalf. It was like, do you want to come over for the Super Bowl? And then to you, it's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, do you want to like talk about things?
Do you want to come over? Do you want to like plan a little get together? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, what day? And then she would ghost me.
Well, and it's just like, it's sneaky, it's shady, and it's like, you know what? Now you know. At the time, it was like, now you know that this isn't somebody that like you want close in your life.
I knew that at the time when that happened, so then I pulled away, and then I think that's when she got mad that I pulled away. So then she started texting my ex, and then she started doing other really weird shit. And maybe, you know what, one day we'll put this on like a paywall, because it's really fucking juicy, because these people are batshit crazy. And you want to talk about those in glass houses? She is the epitome of those in glass houses should not cast stones, because her glass house is fragile as fuck and the gardens are gray.
True. And you know what? But
I think we should let's just end it there.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that like truthfully it's always like annoying having to deal with something like this, but like honestly, like we're so fortunate that like we are so close as sisters. Like we always have each other's backs. We're so close as a family. Like immediately, like mom and dad were like, okay, like this is crazy. Like we're all in this together type of thing. And like we truly, like what this girl needed was a sister. You know, she needed to be like the fourth Brant sister.
Like she needed someone to be like, why are you doing this?
And we really, honestly, that's like a reason why this podcast is so great, because we want to be the extension to you guys. Like, we want to be your sisters. Like, always write into us. Like, even if it's like some crazy shit that you're like, I'm feeling some type of way, like I want to do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. It's like, we can hear you. We can be your sounding board, and either be like, go for it, or be like, you know what, maybe take a step back.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, enough about that.
Yeah.
What's our topic of the week, ladies?
Bad date stories, bad first date stories.
All right. Well, I know somebody who has a lot of bad date stories.
Honestly, I have way more than I should. I truly feel like I have way more than I should, but I feel like this one probably like takes the cake. Like, this is the best one.
This one is like a weird.
And it's weird because, like, I don't understand why you are the one that attracts all the bad dates, because you have like the most boundaries up. You have like, you like are very like regimented about your dating. Like,
Well,
you don't deal
I
with
am
bullshit
now.
but like I deal with bullshit. I like let people I keep them in my circle until they like burn it all down.
Right. Well, okay.
Well, this guy wasn't around a while. This was like all one thing.
Yeah, this was like one
This is
thing,
one day.
but
I know,
it,
but,
it
like-
was a long day. So you know what? I'm just gonna get into it.
Yeah.
The story is a little long. I'll shorten it down. However,
No, you can.
it's fucking great.
You can make it long, and I'll just like chop it up on TikTok.
So I graduated college in the winter, okay? So a lot of my friends that I had classes with, they were staying until the spring. So this guy that I had classes with, like, I'm living in Austin, and he texts me. He's like, I know that you're in Austin now, and I'm still, you know, in college, but I'd love to take you on a date. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I wish you would have asked me on a date sooner, but like, I would love to. So he says that he's going to take me to a Houston Astros game. I don't know why that wasn't the first immediate red flag, because
how far away?
It's like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So date one, I'm already agreeing to it. Going on a date 2.5 hours away.
A day trip. That's
And
bizarre.
a short 5-hour round trip. That's just baseline.
Well, and driving from Austin to like my college town, that's like a solid 45 minutes at least, right?
yeah.
So for whatever reason, I'm like, oh my gosh, cannot wait. Love baseball. I don't know anything about baseball, but I'm like, okay, cool. So I prepare myself by pouring like an entire bottle of champagne in this like Nike like water jug, whatever. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to drink on the way to the game. And as soon as I have his little like address in the GPS, I'm like driving there. I pull up to a fraternity house. That should have been my second red flag.
You didn't know you were going there.
I did not know I was going. All he said was like, I'm still living in college because like I'm graduating in spring kind of thing, like whatever. And I was like, yeah, cool. Obviously, I lived in apartments in college, right? So I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
It was a fraternity house. And then I was like, wow. And I still did not leave, okay? So I get there. I'm like, hey, I'm here. He's like coming out to the truck. And two other friends are following behind him. And I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, like, I'm Paige. And they're like, yeah, we're coming with you to the game. What? So this is like a group date. It's like me and 3 guys. Red flag number 3, okay? I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't say anything. I'm like, oh, this sounds like a great time.
I'm so breezy. I love sports with the
Cool
boys.
girl.
Yeah, like, oh, this is different than I thought, but that's okay. So we get into the truck. I get into the front seat. These guys bring a case of beer into the car, and immediately my date who's driving, he's like, nobody better fucking drink in my fucking truck. And I'm like, uh-oh, like, I brought this like water bottle full of champagne. Like, okay, like, he's really serious about like no one drinking in the car. So like, I can't admit that this is full of champagne at this point, right? And I don't know why he's freaking out about this at this point. So the whole drive there. I'm like drinking my little drink, all this champagne, and I'm like trying to drink it as fast as I can because I want it to be gone because he made such a big deal about no one drinking in his truck. And at one point he even said like, oh, like, can I have some of your water? And I was like, no. And he's like, seriously? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm just like really weird about like germs and stuff. Like, I don't know. And he's like,
thirsty.
Okay. It's like, I don't give a shit about germs, honestly. It's just like, I don't want this man to know that I have champagne when he just yelled at his frat bros for having like beer in the car. So whatever. We finally get there. As soon as we park, his like fraternity brothers start like shotgunning beers. And I'm like, yeah, me too, right? Like, so I'm like shotgunning beers because I'm a fucking bro, right? And we get into the game and immediately the two friends are so obnoxious. They're yelling absurd things, like very inappropriate things, like things they're like calling the like away teams, players, all of these names that like I am not okay with.
Like
I'm just
slurs,
like,
right?
Slurs.
Yeah.
Like bad slurs. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I do not want to be associated with any of these people. And so I get up and I walk away. I'm like literally thinking like, who do I know in Houston? You know what? I have several friends in Houston. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get back home tomorrow, but I definitely know I could find a place to sleep tonight, you know?
Yeah.
And like, he comes like running up and blah, blah, blah. He's like, let me talk to my friends. I was like, I am not going to be associated with people who speak the way that they're speaking. Like, tell them to like get their shit together or I'm out. Like, I am out of here. So I go sit back down. He's talking to his friends. This lovely like group of people behind us. It's like two couples, probably like late 30s, like early 40s. Clearly it's like a date night. They have a babysitter. Like, they're just having like a good time. The wives like lean over to me and they're like, well, like, your date, like, he's not the one that's being bad. And I'm like, hello, like, but his friends are. It's all about the company you keep. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, you should give him a second chance. Like, he's trying to do his best. And I'm like, honestly, they're being delightful. But I'm just like, no way. Like, no freaking way. But they all come back. They apologize to me. They're like, we're sorry that we've been speaking this way, blah, 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 whatever. And I think everything's fine for a minute until one of them turns around, looks at one of the dads, like one of the husbands of the lovely group of people that were sitting behind. And he's like, the fuck you looking at, old man? And these two like men are kind of like laughing, like they're like giggling because they can see like how young and dumb and drunk like they are, you know what I mean? And I'm just like pissed in my chair, and they think it's funny because it's fucking funny, right? And they're just like, huh, whatever, the fuck you looking at, old man? And I'm like, are you shitting me? You've got to be kidding me. And he's like, you want to fucking fight, old man? And I'm like, oh my God. I get up and I immediately go to the bar. And I am just like chugging Miller Lite after Miller Lite after Miller Lite.
Hell
I'm like,
yeah, brother.
Fuck this date. Like, get me home. My date walks up and eventually, and he's like, I'm so sorry about my friends. I'm like, fuck your friends. Like, fuck this date. Like, I want to go home. And so we walk back to the truck. We leave a little early because Paige is pissed and I don't even give a shit. And I take the rest of the case of the beer that was in the back seat and I just put it in the front seat right at my feet. And he looks at me, he's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I'm drinking in the car. And he's like, okay. And then the two guys are in the back seat, he's in the front seat, and I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I'm just drinking this beer. And he's like, and I'm looking out the window and he's like, hey, Paige, hey, are you mad at me? And I'm like, I just really don't want to talk right now. I don't want to talk right now. And he's like, and the guys are just like bitching to each other, like whatever. And then Paige. And so then I'm like, I don't want to hear another fucking word out of you for the rest of the fucking car ride home. Okay? And they're like, one of the guys leans over. He's like, dude, I think she's pissed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking pissed. And I just like crack open another beer and I'm looking out the window. And then it's like silent for maybe like 4 seconds. And then like my date driving, he's like, you're not mad at me, right? Like, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like truly just shut the fuck up. Here's where my dumbass didn't think this through. Because like I lived about 45 minutes away. So I'm wasted. Like I've been drinking my words, really trying to like not yell at all of these stupid boys. And we pull up to the frat house and he's like, you can't drive home. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. Like I can't drive home. And he's like, don't worry. Like I have a couch in my room. Like you can sleep in my bed. Like I'll sleep on the couch. Like no worries. And I'm like, okay, don't touch me. And he's like, yeah, of course. Like, of course. So get into his room. I keep all of my clothes on. I take off my shoes and I like get into the bed and I'm like over by like the wall. And then he climbs in bed and I was like, excuse me, you said you were going to sleep on the couch. And he's like, well, look, you're like huddled up against the wall. You're not taking up any room in the bed. Like you won't even notice me. And I'm like, I swear to God, don't touch me. Do not touch me. He's like, I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to touch you. And I'm like, literally like facing the wall. Like he is facing my, like he has my back. And then he's like, hey, Paige. I'm like, what? And he's like, hey, can you turn over? He's like tugging at my shoulder. And I'm like, don't touch me. He's like, look, I just got to bust one before bed.
Oh my God.
Are you? I shot up in bed. I was like, has that ever worked for you before? Truly. I just have to bust one before bed. I was paralyzed.
No.
I was paralyzed. I was like, has that ever worked for you before? And he was like, what? I can't help it. Like, I just got to bust one before bed. I was like, leave me the fuck alone and don't touch me. And I lay back down. I'm like up against the wall as much as I can. I have these blankets wrapped around me. And he goes, fine. I don't even have to look at you. Or he was like, you don't have to turn around. Like, I can just like look at you. And then he proceeds to,
Try to bust one on his own.
Yes, he busts one on his own, takes off his shirt to clean it up, throws the shirt on the ground, and is asleep within seconds. And I am literally like staring at the wall with my eyes like wide open. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I eventually fall asleep, and as soon as my little eyes wake up and I'm fucking sober enough to drive home, I am out there as the sun is rising. Like, out the fucking door. Are you fucking kidding me?
That is the most amazing story of all time. Can I tell you my favorite parts, Miss Lippy?
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite part is when you put the beer in the front seat and you looked at him and you said, yeah, I'm drinking in the car.
And he was too scared to say otherwise.
That was a turning point for him. I think that's when he realized, like, he lost control.
That's when he realized, oh, she's pissed.
And he didn't realize it on the way there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And my other favorite part is when you said, has that ever worked for you? And he didn't even say no. So
he didn't even bat an eye. He's like, what? Like, I just got a bust one before that. And those words, like bust one.
Says that?
No.
Men, like, I don't want to be a man hater. And I'm not a man hater.
I'm not. I love men.
Like,
I hate this
why
man.
the fuck are some men like this?
And it is truly appalling. You know, here's the other crazy thing about this story. Like, this is one of our parents' favorite story to like tell their friends. Like sometimes they'll call me and they'll be like, "Hey, you're on speakerphone. We're at a party. Will you tell the bust one story?" It's like they also think like this story is so funny because of how absurd it is. Like obviously
Appalling.
we know how
It's a journey.
well, and it's like I know how like unsafe I could have been. Like I was in a situation, like I was lucky enough
You're
in
lucky,
the situation,
yeah.
like it could have been a lot worse, and like I was so young. I'm much smarter now. Like there's so many like points of this entire journey that I should have just been like, yeah, I gotta go. But I survived and I'm here to tell the story so you don't have to live it.
Yeah, there's so many red flags Paige could have alerted her little mind to leaving before
Yeah.
she even got to Houston.
Before I even got to Houston, first date being at a place 2.5 hours away, no. Driving to a fraternity house, no. You not telling me that your two friends are coming with us on this journey, no. Like
yeah, just 3 right there. Those are like the most innocent ones.
right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just crazy. So like
How old were you though? You were young.
it was, when do you graduate? 2015.
Probably like 23.
Yeah, you were 23. So you were really, really young
And dumb. And honestly, learned a lot.
and not full of cum.
No.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I'll
Poor
get that.
shirt.
Yeah.
Like, but that is truly like to this day, like no man I have ever dated, hooked up with, like whatever. I've never heard friends, like I've never heard another man use the words bust one.
I haven't either.
There's something about that just like,
It's very specific. Of like, it's very.
how did you
telling.
grow up? You know what I mean?
And like, do you not talk to your friends? Like, because do your guys talk
Or
about that
his
stuff?
friends are the weirdos that are like trying to fight people and are just like hammered. They probably say that amongst each other,
I've
and they
never
probably
heard-
have normalized it. And then it takes an outsider to be like, "What the heck are you talking about? Why are you?" I hope he listens, and I hope he knows how absurd that is, and I hope that.
and I
other
hope he
people have-
stopped saying that. Like,
I actually hope he hasn't, because that means he probably isn't having like that. much
pretty
luck.
sure he's married now.
Shut up.
I'm pretty sure.
I always think about it like guys that I like had weird things with that they did really weird things. And then I'm like, you're married.
Yeah.
And like, that's weird.
It is interesting.
Because that means she's okay with what you're doing.
yeah, or maybe me being like, has that ever worked for you before? Maybe the next day he's like reflecting. You know what? That hasn't actually worked for me before. No one's
maybe-
brought that to my attention.
Maybe that's when he has the awkward conversation with his friends, like, "Hey,
Wait, no, we need to get in touch with the wife and she needs to send us a thank you note.
Well,
Because I think that changed her whole life. She would have never found. I think he's a reformed man.
well, hopefully, but we don't need to harass that poor woman. We don't know what she's."
No, she's gonna know from this.
yeah.
So just
She's probably listening.
you're welcome, and
And don't worry, like nothing happened between me and him. He satisfied
A lot
himself.
happened.
a lot happened. But it honestly that could go down in like you should write a novel like the Odyssey by Homer, but it's called like Bust One by Paige.
It was honestly like an experience.
Well, I'm really sorry that happened to you, but again, we would like to acknowledge the privilege you had of not
Yes.
it not ending worse.
Yeah, like it definitely could have. Like I was not taking myself out of the situation like quickly enough. Like I should have been a lot smarter.
Yeah,
and
but also
girls, be
it's his
smarter.
fucking fault.
Yes, but also
duh.
like you know,
There's
you
some
just-
things you can do as well.
It's like
You
up
gotta
until
look out
act
for yourself.
3, this could have been a horror. This could have been a comedy. Luckily, it turned into a comedy because he was just weird with himself. But like this could have been a tragedy.
And I am sensitive to that. Like I'm not trying to like you know, make light of that. Like, I'm making light of it because, like, it happened to me, and it's like, oh, like, thank God, looking back on that, like, it could have been awful. So, like, thank goodness it wasn't. But just please be smarter than my dumb ass.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Bailey, do you have any bad date stories?
I do, and also this could have ended bad for me, and also I was dumb. But when I was back in my bumbling days, I kind of played it like kind of fast and loose because I was like, you know what? I don't want to give everyone I did give this guy my number. Sorry, this is when I learned not to give people my number. I was going to meet this guy named John at this bar, and I was like, he's like starting to be kind of weird. I think I might get like stood up, and whatever, I'm already in the Uber. Let's go, I'll order a beer, whatever. So I like drank my first beer, and like no one came up, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll get another one. I'm already paying for an Uber. What's the difference? And then when I'm like drinking my second beer, some guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, oh, good. Like just sitting here.
Waiting for a
like,
date.
Yeah. And they're like, well, what are you here for? Like, what's going on? Like, can I buy you a drink? And I was like, you look fine. Like, there was nothing like wrong with them. And I was like, yeah, I'm like supposed to be waiting for a date, but sure, you can buy me a drink. I don't care. So we're talking, whatever. I'm not that like impressed with this person, but I was like, everything was going fine. And he was like, I really want to take you on a date. Like, you don't deserve to be stood up. Look at you. You're so beautiful. And I was like, he's right. Look at me. Like, this is great. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like, obviously Bumble isn't working out. Maybe I should like let people at bars like pick me up. So he like gives me his phone to like type my number in, and I type it in, and my name already appears like on the like iPhone. And I was like, this is the red flag. Like, it was immediate, like, what the hell? And he was like, oh, yeah. No, this is funny. You must have already, like, given me your number sometime. And I was like,
Nope.
No, I don't give my numbers out. Like, this is crazy. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's really weird that happened. Super excited about our date, though. And I get in the Uber, and I blocked him, and I deleted, like, because he had already deleted the thing from Bumble, so I couldn't see that guy anymore. The number that he was texting me from before was like, it was like all green text, and like when I called it, you couldn't like call it. It was like only texting.
It's like a fake number or something.
Oh my God.
And he was like, oh yeah, we must have already met before or something. His dumbass already saved my name in his
That is
phone.
so creepy. Okay,
It
so
was
people
so
who
scary.
were following this guy who came up to you clearly knew exactly who you were.
Yeah.
And he had saved your number in there, and that's how you knew he was the catfish.
The craziest
Yes.
thing is, like, Bailey and I were listening to Crime Junkie, and they brought up this story that was almost identical to that exact story. It was in Colorado. And they even said, like, we're hearing that this is happening a lot of places. Like, if it's happened to you, like, write in. And it was like these women who would meet somebody on a dating app. They would go, as soon as they got there, the person made excuses as to like, oh, I'm running late, or I'm not going to be there. Someone else would, like, in the meantime, like, that profile on Bumble would like disappear. Someone in person would like engage with them. Oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you were stood up, like, whatever. And it was this like sex trafficking like ploy. So I don't know,
Potentially. That's,
obviously,
like, why
if
they were,
that
like-
was like this, if that was gonna happen, but like it mirrored that exact story so much that Bailey did write in. Like, she was like, this, I'm in Austin, Texas, like, this was happening. Because I mean, whenever they Crime Junkie, like, she was like, we had like an absurd amount of people write in all over, and she listed off like all these different cities, like,
Oh my God.
the same thing. So I mean,
so creepy. I honestly think that this guy was just like a loser and like didn't really feel confident that I would have like matched with him or whatever, which I probably wouldn't have. But it was really creepy to hear that, and I was like, I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna tell Ashley Flowers about this.
well, yeah, and because it's like, as a woman, like, you have to, because it probably is like that guy was doing it more because he felt self-conscious, but like, that's not your responsibility to like, you have to protect yourself as to like, against somebody who's doing it again for sex trafficking purposes or because they're self-conscious. It's like, I'm out. Like, I don't want, I'm not taking
Creepy.
the bait.
That is.
Why? It's not up to me to find out. I was like, yeah, I'm so happy. I'll see you on Monday at the restaurant. Blocked, didn't talk. And he
Never
like
sees
requested
again.
to follow me on Instagram, and I was like, block, report. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Block. Damn.
That's
Fucked up.
Well,
Yeah.
should we hear from some of our listeners?
First date. Met the guy at a dive backstage bar and grill in Culver City on Wednesday for drinks. Had a personal rule that I would never date anyone in the industry, but this was the one time I caved because I was bored. He was a writer, which could always mean unemployed. Guy was drunk and slurring when I showed up and immediately got touchy and was touching my thigh while I was perched on a bar stool next to him, still trying to order my first drink. I'm completely sober. Conversation is him just slurring and trying to be flirty. Then, as I try to suck down first drink, a live band starts playing right next to us, so loud I can't hear him talk at all. I go to the bathroom and text my friends and saying, like, get me out of here. I come back, and one more thigh grope takes me over the edge. I tell him, you seem kind of drunk and kind of touchy, and I'm uncomfortable, so I'm gonna go. He slurps back, well, you seem stupid. As I drive home, he texts me, you are an ugly, see you next Tuesday, and I'm so glad I have someone way more beautiful on her way to meet me tonight.
Yeah, right.
Tell me you have a small dick without telling me
I
you
don't
have
even
the
care. You seem kind of
smallest dick.
stupid.
Okay, this is actually my friend who wrote this in, and I was dying because she is the most hilarious person, and I'm like, I just can't imagine. She could have let him really have it.
Well, because also it's like, again, it's not all guys, but also tell me that you haven't met a guy exactly like this.
Oh my God.
Yes.
The moment you're like,
You turn them down, you're
oh,
ugly.
like, you're so fucking ugly. You're a bitch. You're a cunt. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I am. You were literally just grabbing my thighs,
Yeah.
wanting to hook up with me. But you're right. I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I believe you.
Well, maybe I should stop telling people they have small dicks then. Because that's kind of like the woman equivalent of that. I just think it's funny because
Well,
it's like,
It's also saying
it's the energy they're
yes.
giving. It's small dick energy. It's like it doesn't mean you actually have a small dick. Small dick energy is just like you are so insecure about something in your life where you have to shit on women. And you
Yes.
can't just like take the L. Like we take the L all the time. Like almost like our entire lives until we become 30. We're like taking the L from guys because for whatever reason, they usually have had the upper hand.
Well, and for whatever reason, it's like, again, like kind of going back to my story, it's like the reason I didn't turn away at any of those points is because like, oh, well, it's going to get better. Like giving him
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt. Like
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt. Why?
Why do we give them the benefit of the doubt?
Well,
Because the
and
thing
it's
is-
because in your thing specifically it was like the situation where it's like, oh man, like I already drove down here and I'm pulling up to this fraternity house. Like now I'm gonna have to make such a big statement of being like, no, I'm not gonna do this and I'm gonna go away. And it's like, and then she didn't even give me a chance. And so it's like so much put on you to have to make like the big gesture of leaving.
But it is crazy because like I don't expect somebody to give me a million chances.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I assume that it's like when you're meeting somebody for the first time, it's like first impressions are everything, you know? And then like if it's a bad one, then it's like, okay, now I have to work even harder to like make a better impression or like redeem myself, whatever. But it's like for whatever reason, like women are always like told like, and it's not even, it's not like it was taught to us by like our parents.
it's just
it's
like,
society or something.
I think it's just
like,
ingrained in us.
I think it's just more the audacity of like a mediocre man to just be like, oh yeah, I deserve.
Well,
I'm
maybe
here to
because
deserve
we are
this.
like, we are constantly like, oh, we could be better. We could do this. So we come into a situation and it's like, oh, if we feel quote unquote mediocre in any sense, we would never have the audacity because we are always like, okay, like that's why we get paid less. We don't ask for as much money. We're like coming into these dates, and the men are just shooting their shot left and fucking right.
They're busting one left and right.
They're asking to bust one.
Yeah,
after that guy honestly is probably making so much fucking money because imagine him going in there being like, I want this much, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like,
and then I'm like, I want this much. Why? Because X, Y, and Z. I can do blah, blah,
you're
blah.
like, okay, maybe
let me back this up.
Let me see how much I deserve. Let me do comps. Let me do this. Let me have
this portfolio that proves why.
Yeah. And he's like, I want to bust one, and I would like too much fucking money for how dumb I am.
And they'll say, I'm not sure. And he'll say, well, I can just look at you. I'll still be doing it. And they're like, this guy really knows what he wants.
The confidence on this one.
I want this guy on my team.
Determined.
Give him a director role.
Barf. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
We are He-Man Woman Hater Club today.
Yeah.
Again,
I stand by it.
Love men.
Or Darla.
Just don't love all men.
Yeah.
Crazy first date time. So this guy that I was not really interested in had to... I'm cold reading these. So this guy that I was not really interested in had tried to go out with me several times. Finally, after being single for over a year and him coincidentally showing up at my door to deliver my pizza...
Yeah, right.
Parentheses, so awkward, OMG, I died. I would too. I agreed to go on a date with him. Day of the date shows up and I decide to go to Unlimited Mimosas with my mom and get absolutely trashed.
I would too.
I go home to sleep up and wake up to my date texting me he's on the way. So I rush to get ready, naturally feeling so hungover and still definitely drunk. The restaurant was a 3-minute drive from my house, so I had him pick me up. When we get there, he orders me a drink and I take one sip and immediately rush to the bathroom to puke my brains out.
Me.
I seriously threw up for 10 minutes. I come back out of the bathroom and he's like, you good? I'm like, what? Yeah, oh yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. Just a long line at the bathroom. Haha. I'm sitting there with my puke breath, trying not to face him. We're sitting at a bar and he leans in to kiss me.
Wants to bust one.
Hit my head.
Bro, I turned my head and curved him so hard. I felt so bad because he was so nice. I was just not attracted to him. And I said, and I had puke breath. Then I had to endure the car ride home where he asked me when our second date will be. Ooh.
I love that he is like, look, total salesman behavior. Like, you were trying to book the next meeting before the first one's done. Like, love that for him. Hate it for you. Love it for him.
Yeah. And I also love that this one is like, it's not his fault. It's her fault. And she's acknowledging it. She's like, why does he want to go on another date with me? I literally puked on this date. And like, if you haven't been there with an unlimited mimosa situation where you're like, wow, I am now wasted on accident, and then I'm going to sleep, and then I wake up and now I'm sick.
Honestly, it happens a lot.
Yeah, especially when in my early 20s, I remember I went to this place called Hurricanes in Huntington Beach, which Huntington Beach is the biggest. It's Huntington Beach downtown is the red flag. It is the, what do we call it? The personification of a red flag. And I am just drinking my life away. Like, and I am just dating this guy who I end up being in a very long relationship with. And he is patient, a saint. And I'm like, he's like, all right, I'm going out with my friends, but I'm going to make sure you get in a cab. And that's how long ago this was. There was no Ubers. It was just cabs. So I get in a yellow cab. I call 1-800-4MY-TAXI. I'm like, pick me up at Hurricanes. And we're driving down PCH and I have like the windows down. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like literally hanging my head out on PCH, throwing up on the side of this cab. And he's like, hey, at least it's not in here. And I was like, thank you.
That was before the $200 Uber charge.
Yeah. I did that multiple times. I did that also coming home from Not Scary Farm. I did it in my friend's car, but it was never in the car. I just have like a very sensitive stomach where I throw up, and then I like
After you drink, a couple bottles of champagne.
It's so weird how that
it's
happens.
so weird.
Maybe you have an allergy.
I think I just have like this allergy to alcohol, and and I stick my little. That was a very specific niche time. I think it was like 2011 to 2012. Jade.
Paige had what?
And I'm interested what you're gonna say.
In the same era of when Paige put the whole bottle of champagne in the Nike bottle, we similarly did that at my college. May I?
Oh, yes, you may.
At my college apartment pool, we each got a bottle of champagne and put them in like Bubba kegs so we can like bring them down to the pool to drink. We had a nice setup. We had like a little like waiting like layout pool, so it's like just like a foot deep or whatever. So we like put our champagne in there. We put like the speaker. We're like having a day. We're just the only ones at the pool until like 10, 15 like frat guys come and they're like in the real part of the pool, and we're like, all right, whatever, it's fine. And then Paige like is gonna finish her drink. It's been sitting in the sun, so she like grabs her like giant thing of champagne and like goes to like take a big chug to like finish it. It's warm. Doesn't sit well. She immediately just like like throws up into the pool that we're both sitting in.
Yep.
Oh my god.
It was bad.
We just looked at each other, our eyes are wide, and we like,
Because I vomited into the pool that is now like, it's like a waterfall into the real pool situation.
Wait, I don't want to be too graphic, but chunks.
no, mostly
Oh, okay, then you're fine.
Okay, but still, because for us, we're looking at each other. We have this entire conversation silent, and we look at each
pushing
other
the debris
away
out of
from
the
us.
way.
We get up, we gather our things to leave before it's gonna go over this waterfall into the rest of the pool to all of these frat guys. Like,
It wasn't chunks, but it was
visible.
substantial.
It was visible.
Yeah, it's noticeable.
And you know what? This is why we love college, because we have an excuse to make stupid decisions, and it's okay.
If only one of us was actually in college at that moment, though.
I don't know. Was
The
I
other
still in
one-
college?
There's probably some overlap.
I mean, if she's in college, I'm in college. You know what I mean?
That's how I felt when I went to visit Bailey in
We're all
UT.
we're all in college.
Yeah,
you know
I was
what I mean?
like, I'm 28, almost 29, and I'm in college.
Yeah. I mean, you were in college, and so it's really,
At one point, it's like osmosis.
it's muscle memory. It's really
That's
like
exactly
you can
it.
honestly,
it literally
like,
was.
honestly. So we live in Austin. Like, it's not often that I go to Dirty Sixth Street, but when I do, all of a sudden, this 30-year-old is back in college. You
You're
know what I
riding
mean?
that bull.
I'm back to before I was 21, when these were the only bars that would let my stupid little fake ID in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm 26 when I'm like 19 or 20, you
Yeah.
know? And like,
It's like, yeah, I'm 5'9".
and those were also the days when like I could drink, I don't care what kind of shot, I don't care what kind of liquor, I could mix, I could match what the fuck ever. And then the next day I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do today? And now I'm like, oh, I drink wine and beer. I'm out for 2 days.
I drank 2 glasses of wine and I didn't eat the right amount of vegetables.
I took one tequila shot, dead for
Yeah.
the week. So, you know what?
I thought about being hungover and then my body just decided to be hungover. I didn't drink enough water and I didn't drink. I'm
Yeah.
hungover.
That's what your 30s look. That's what you have to look forward to in
Yeah.
your 30s.
Get
Can't
ready.
wait. Can't wait.
Wow. That was
fun.
That was fun. Should we talk about next week? Should we talk about, since we're talking about drinking, should we talk about like the gnarliest like drinking stories?
Ooh, I like
have
that.
I have a
some
lot.
good ones.
I like that a lot.
Okay, so next week let's talk about your gnarliest drinking stories. And it could be anything. It could be your worst hangover. I have
Something you-
many of those.
Yeah, like when you got your hair done.
Oh,
Chili's.
yes. Chili's was the place of my hangovers.
We'll talk about it.
And or like just some dumb shit you did while you were drinking.
Because then it's like or like the next day. It's like the next day you like wake up. What did I do last night? Like you have that pit.
You get the
like,
shamies and you're just like, oh
Yeah.
no, that really
you text all your
happened.
friends. Are we still friends?
Do I have anything to apologize for?
Yeah.
I feel
So-
like this is bad.
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear those because every single person who drinks has a story.
Yeah.
Every single one. So
And we have this culture of like binge drinking where like when I would go out in college, it was like not like if we're gonna black out, it's like we're blacking out tonight. And I don't know
like that
why
was the goal.
we didn't like ever. I didn't know that that was bad. Like that is so bad.
Yeah, but it was like you didn't know that there could be like a stop before a blackout.
Yeah,
like,
it was just like, oh, we black out. It's college. It's funny,
yeah,
but it's not.
it's not funny.
Yeah, so right in that, we have email, yourpoordad@gmail.com. We have the DMs. A lot of people have been Instagramming, DMing us. And you can't really DM us on TikTok, but give us a comment.
Yeah.
And, keep making up fake accounts.
No. But before we go, I do
Oh, shit. Yeah. We have more to
before
talk
we
about.
go, I know you're not completely caught up, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We just want to talk about the ultimatum because the day that we're recording this is the day that the last 2 episodes came out. So like the final like decision episode and the reunion. And Bailey and I watched both of those today. And you know what? They did not disappoint.
No, I think this might be the best show of all time.
Better than Love is Blind?
Yes.
Let's do trigger warning. Spoiler alert.
Well, and by the time this comes out, it's Monday. So they've had,
I know, but people still get fucking pissed.
You're right. So
Well, then just
spoilers.
if you haven't watched, we'll
Turn it
talk
off.
to you next week.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you have, stay tuned because the choices were made.
Oh my
I
God.
honestly was, I think, the most. What were you the most surprised by? Which couple?
Surprised? I would say, I guess I just couldn't picture any of them actually going with the other person. I thought it was like, okay,
They're going to stay with the person they
I'm
came
going to
with.
stay with the person I came with, or
What
I'm
about
going
Jake
to-
and Ray?
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Okay, I think Jake and Ray probably broke up. Oh, wait, no, they were together.
So the
They were
original
together.
couple was Jake and April and Ray and
Zay.
Zay.
Okay, I don't think Zay and Shanique
Zay
will
and
stay. I don't think
Zay and Ray were the original couple.
Yeah,
and
I think
Shanique
they
and
would
Zay,
break
yeah.
up.
Okay.
And I think Jake and Ray would pick each other.
Okay.
I think April and Jake obviously would break up then.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously Lauren, wait, no, what's her fucking name? Madeline and Colby. Who else is there? So it's just
Shanique.
them. Well, yeah, Shanique's with Zay.
Zay.
But like
And then
I don't,
Lauren.
and then of course Lauren and
And
Nate, I think they're
Alexis.
together. I think Lauren and Nate are like they were like really stable going into it.
Well, Shanique was with Randall.
Oh, Randall. Yeah, I think Randall leaves alone.
Okay.
With and Shanique leaves alone.
So what happens is Madeline and Colby,
Yeah.
they not only leave together, but so he proposes, she says yes, and then he says, "You want to get married today?" And she says, "Okay." And so then they have like a pastor like come in and like, or an officiant, like I don't know who she is, but like she comes in and she like marries them right then and there.
And that was a really big, like watching it, because I was taking notes and I was like good for them, but like I don't care. And then like they're like, let's get married right now. And I was like, all right, I guess they like wanted to do something to like spice it up, like whatever. And then Paige especially was really taken by the actual ceremony.
Honestly, it was just like really, because like I feel like this whole entire series, like at the very beginning I was like super team Colby, and then I was like, oh wait, maybe Colby's a fuckboy, and then but the whole time I was like, Madeline, yikes, not my girl. You know what I mean? But then like this last episode, and in addition with the reunion, somehow like both of them have redeemed themselves for me, and I'm like, you know what? Like, you work. Like, I get it. I respect you guys, and like, it works for me. Like, it works for me.
I think that they're both exactly who they are, and they know who they are, and they're confident in that, and then it works for them as a couple. And you know what?
I agree.
Who am I to judge? Wishing them well. The thing that I think you're gonna die over in the reunion.
Well, let's before we go to, let me go
fine,
real
fine.
quick, because then what was wild is, so Jake and April, they meet. April's like, I love you, I want to be with you, and Jake's like, I didn't get there, let's break. Like,
No.
and April was like, well, if you're not ready to propose, then like, I need to leave.
She's like,
I need to move on.
Ultimatum, and I meant it.
And
Jake
so
specifically said, well, it's not like me and Ray are gonna like run away
off
together.
Yeah.
Then cut to next scene is
So
Jake
then April,
and Ray meeting.
yeah. So then then the next scene is like
Jake and
Jake Ray, and he proposes
in a forest.
something. He proposes 2 tickets to paradise. He proposes 2 tickets to travel anywhere that she wants.
Okay.
So Bailey's point,
is that he obviously was ready to run away with Ray, and he was just like, he literally said,
Why would he say the words "run away" with Ray?
Give her plane tickets that were
To
already
run away.
in his like breast pocket of his thing the whole time. Wild.
okay, I agree that was weird, but for some reason when I was like watching it, like, I don't know why, but like him telling April, like, it's not like me and
It's because
Ray
he
are
was
gonna
getting
run off,
defensive
like,
about it, because
I
she was
know-
like, it was hurtful to see you make such a strong connection with someone. He's like, it's not like we're gonna run away together. We're not gonna run away
And then
together.
cut
But, like,
to
and then he gave
running
her-
to
for
away
whatever
together.
reason, like, I took that as like, run off and get married. I don't know why I was like adding on that narrative for him, but in my brain,
You're
that's what
defending
happened.
Jake.
Like, unintentionally,
Jake
I'm
is
like
fine,
defending
whatever.
Jake
Okay.
somehow. But so then whenever he like presented these 2 like tickets, like,
Then what?
I was like, oh, that's nice. And Bailey's like, are you kidding me? Like, he just said they weren't going to run away.
But did she accept it?
She
So
says
she
yes.
accepted.
Okay.
So then we don't see her talk to Zay.
So
Okay.
Zayd never shows up because Zay and Ray, they broke up. So we
Yeah.
see him pack his bag and like leave. And he's like, I did not realize this experiment was going to end in this way for me, which was really sad. Like, that was wild, whatever. But then we have,
Shanique and Randall, they get engaged.
they're the
It's
first
very
ones.
sweet.
They get
I was
engaged. Adorable.
crying.
Really?
Yeah, like
It was
it's-
very nice.
Okay, I really like both of them. I love them.
They were really great. Now,
look so
fast
good
forward
together.
to the reunion, what we find out about them, because we loved their engagement. They broke up like right after the engagement for like 6 months.
What?
And keep in mind, from what they said the show, the day of the reunion, they said that like, oh, it's been 6 months since we stopped filming.
Yeah.
And they stopped filming as weird dating, and then they were like, well, right after that we broke up, and we've been broken up for 6 months, but we just got back together, basically.
What?
So we have hope. I think that it like really, like, I now think that they're both very genuine with at least what they were saying, and I think I have good feelings about it. I
did too.
They have my blessing.
They said they were like, the thing is like, when we got back to our real world, like, our real problems, like, were still there. So it's
Yeah.
like, we learned things about each other, like, through the experiment, but like, the real, like, we still had to navigate that through our real world.
Yeah.
And I totally like can respect that, you know.
Yeah.
So I truly hope them.
Okay.
I wish them the
And
best.
so then-
Also, speaking of the timeline of it being 6 months when the show wraps to when the reunion happens, they're like, all right, let's bring out Colby and Madeline. They come in. She is heavily pregnant. Congratulations. This is great. And they say, how far along are you? And she says 7 months.
So she
It's
got
like,
pregnant.
girlfriend.
On the show, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I wonder if that's why they got married same day
Yeah.
instead of like
I
having
kinda-
an engagement.
I think so too. But honestly, like, again, redeeming episode, because like,
They
first of all,
look
they
so
looked
happy.
They looked great together. They looked so happy together. They looked so comfortable together. And like, Colby's like, you know what? Yep, I fucked up talking about like that
owned
girl that
his,
he
like,
hooked up with.
whatever.
Like, I own it. I was wrong. And like, Madeline's like, yep, everything's great. Like, I love him. Like, they truly, like, 180 in my mind. Like,
Wow.
180.
They look really happy.
Okay.
The thing
So
is,
then-
though, is like what I truly cannot understand is like, let's go back to when Hunter proposed to Alexis and Nate proposed to Lauren, okay? Happens on the same fucking night.
We're at
okay?
the reunion.
Same day. And then so it's like, all of a sudden we're at the reunion and they're like, okay, Nate and Lauren, can we just like talk about the whole like kid thing? Fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like they have this montage of like Nate being like, I want kids. I want to be a dad, whatever. And while this is happening, whatever, then Alexis is like, okay, are you having kids or not? Like with an attitude. And I'm like, oh my God, relax for a second, you know? And then they're like, yeah, we had outside help, like we went to therapy, like whatever. Mm-hmm. We've come to our agreement and like we're gonna have like one kid, like maybe not right now, but like whatever. Honestly, that is great for them. Like,
Yeah,
super great for them. And then like
The other thing that I thought was weird is that Vanessa like acknowledged that it was like weird when people are like butting in about like if you're gonna have kids, if you're trying to have kids, and she's like, what are you asking me if I'm having unprotected sex with my husband? Like, that's weird, MYOB. And it's like,
and
yeah,
yet we're asking Nate and Lauren, like, so are you gonna have kids or not?
Well,
are you
I
going
think
to,
it's
and
like-
when, and how many?
Did they say that?
They
Pretty
said
much.
they
Like,
said they
it's-
were
And that was
that
like
they agreed to one.
a discussion that they brought up, but also it's like truly their decision. Like,
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter if they decide if they want kids or not. That's totally Lauren's decision. The main
And
thing,
Nate's.
yeah, and Nate's. But the main thing should be that Nate is okay with
not-
whatever.
with not having kids.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
which is the thing that is just like blowing my mind, that like no one is like, everyone's like, well, this isn't real or whatever, because it's like he literally said, he's like, yeah, I realized that like this is my person. She has everything that I want.
I accept her for everything she is.
Yes. And so like I realized that like I want and need this person having kids or not having kids.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I made this decision.
And Hunter and Alexis made that same decision together. So then why is...
because also, what the fuck was the reason for Hunter and Alexis not getting together? Like like with Nate and Lauren, like there wasn't a compatibility issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like Hunter just like wasn't ready to marry Alexis,
Yeah.
like until he was.
And
And why
Alexis-
is
also the difference was like Alexis issued the ultimatum, so it's like, okay, Hunter came around, but like Nate issued the ultimatum, and so it's not like Lauren came around. It was still very clear. I think that's why like the other like contestants or
Were mad.
participants
so
are upset.
even more so at the reunion, when they asked the question, who learned the least throughout this experience, Hunter of all fucking people goes, Nate. Okay, so I'm sorry, fucking wrong, first of all, because April says,
Right.
oh well, he left early. What did she say? Like,
She was like, well, yeah, because he wasn't here.
he wasn't here. Yeah, he left the same fucking day you did, Hunter. So like you guys learned the same amount. And if we're going to what you just said, like Nate is the one who issued the ultimatum. So clearly he learned something to be like, yeah, you know what? This is my person, and like I need this person more than I need a child.
Yeah.
And so like the fact that he's just so quick to like be like, Nate didn't learn anything. Well, fuck off. Like,
Well, yeah, and it's like if Lauren was like, fuck yes when Nate proposed to her. So
Absolutely.
she wanted it. I feel like they both had the most solid relationship going into this, and it wasn't
coming out of it.
Yeah,
I
and
think.
it wasn't a question of like, if you do this, then we will. It's just, that was like a very fundamental thing. Like, it's like, okay, I love everything about you, but like, can we get to like an agreement on here? Whereas the other people are like, well, I don't know if I want to be with this person. And it was very like
Or
intangible.
like, I can't trust this person. I
Yeah.
can't. And like, those are like much bigger issues. And so anyways, I will never understand like where this, I don't understand why anyone's giving Lauren and Nate any kind of shit, and no one is giving
Well, I don't
Alexis
think
and Hunter any
anyone
kind of
is,
shit because it is mind-boggling.
I don't
to
think
me.
anyone is like rooting for Alexis and Hunter either, though. You know, it's like I think that of the two,
April was.
there's more like everyone's like happy. Like I'm talking about like the fans, like us, like the people on the show. They're like, oh, good for you, like whatever. But like, I think that of the two couples that got engaged that night, there's like more things to say about Nate and Lauren.
Which just
I would say
doesn't make sense to
hard
me.
no. I think there's way more shit to say about Hunter and Alexis.
But it's not as interesting.
Yeah.
No, it is interesting because Alexis is literally like so insecure.
But the night of, I think what Bailey's saying is like the night of, like almost all of the other castmates were like, wow, like you stole their thunder. And it's like, the fuck? Like their thunder, we're all on the same TV show. That's literally the premise is marry or move on. So like congratulations to us that we decided to marry. You know what I mean? Like it just, whatever. Anyways, we can talk about that later. But like the only other like big thing from the reunion was like the Zay and Ray of it all, like with the whole like Shanique, because so what had happened was Zay and Shanique hooked up, okay? And when the original couples got back together, like Shanique told Randall like, hey, this is what happened, whatever. Zay did not tell Ray. And
meanwhile, he's like, what did you do with Jake?
Yeah.
I know you did something with Jake.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to Jake? Like, very accusatorial.
And they didn't, and
allegedly.
like, Ray didn't hook up with Jake. Like, they didn't have like a physical thing, whatever. But he's coming at her hard. So, whatever. So, whenever she does find out
What
that
Shanique says is at the reunion, Shanique was like, well, like, she like is saying like, yeah, our relationship, like hers and Zay's relationship did get physical. And that was something that she really wanted to explore because she saw the other people. And like, she wanted to see like, is this something that I'm missing? And when I did, it wasn't for me. Like, I know I love Randall, whatever. In Ray, that's when she found out that
she went off, rightfully so, because yeah, and what she says that I love is she says that like her and Shanique have developed like a friendship since filming, and she was like, it is not her responsibility to tell me about what my partner did or like had done, whatever. Like, we were making this friendship like on our own, whatever. Like, she told her partner what had happened, just like my partner should have told me what happened. And I do completely agree with that. And like things got fucking heated and he walked off. And it was wild.
it was really uncomfortable to watch. And there's nothing like, I can kind of give most of the people like a pass. Like, it wasn't like this was the wrong thing, this was the right thing. Although, sorry, Zay was more in the wrong of like being really defensive about like, he would be, according to Ray, getting really mad when Ray would hang out with Shanique because he's like, well, why do you want to be her friend? Because he was like
scared.
Like, she's gonna tell him.
Something that was interesting.
Also, we didn't even say this because we said that Ray and Jake, he was like, I'll take you anywhere in the world. Here's these plane tickets, whatever.
They didn't go.
Then they don't go. And Zay said, yeah, tell him why you didn't go.
And what happened?
And he said, because you were fucking me every day.
It was weird. But
It was really uncomfortable.
But something that was interesting.
Yikes.
So they were talking about, that new couple or whatever, like having a physical relationship, and then kind of like went back to like the Colby of it all, because like Colby hooked up with somebody like during
Not
the
on the
time,
show.
but like not on the show. And Alexis leaned over and she was like to Hunter, she's like, if you hooked up with somebody like off the show, like I would be done. And that was like an interesting thing to me, because it was like, it really made me think that like, okay, like I'm trusting all of the people in this experiment. So it's like within this experiment is like my people, like my bubble.
Yeah.
And so like anything within this is I'm like agreeing to in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And like anything like outside, like even though it was still within like filming time and whatever, but like anyone not a cast
Well,
member.
yeah, but they went into the show with the agreement of like, we're going to switch with cast members, and I think it's easier to process that than like if then it's like, oh, you just want to fuck around.
You just wanted a week to see what you could do.
That was interesting for me to think about, though, because like I hadn't really thought about it like that. Because like for me,
it makes sense though.
Watching it, I'm like, okay, well, there's not a big difference between him fucking somebody that's a cast member as opposed to like somebody who's not, as long as it is within that time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in my brain at first. And then I'm like, you know what though? Like I do get it. Like you're signing on to this, like, especially if you're not someone who's like open to open relationships, you know what I mean? It's like you're signing on to this one specific experiment that's like with this like specific group of people. That was interesting to me.
And I think she likes the threat that she can see towards like, yeah, I can size up this girl, and like if Hunter and Alexis like paired off with other people, like that would have been insanity. Like I don't even know, Alexis would have gone off the rails. That would have been like kind of interesting to see.
The last thing that I have to say before we go is no one brought up Nate saying Big Cheese Colby, which was truly like one of my favorite parts of the entire like season.
Yeah.
And I think it needed more attention than it got. So Big Cheese Colby, you know?
Big Cheese Colby. Big cheese.
Well, honestly, that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Your Poor Dad. Please tell all of your friends, listen, subscribe, write into us about your like crazy drinking stories or whatever.
yourpoordad@gmail.com.
Follow us on Instagram at Your Poor Dad Pod.
Your Poor Dad Pod.
And then follow us on TikTok.
Your Poor Dad
with,
Pod.
Yep. Engage with us on TikTok. Jade will probably respond to you. She's like
I'll
always
give you a heart. I'll give you a response.
She's always there. So we appreciate you. We love you. All right. Bye.
Bye.